Hey everybody out there, my name is Dragnix, and a little bit something different for you guys today. Not a Let's Try, not a First Impressions, this is just going to be me talking about Steam. In particular, he's talking about Steam Reviews and Curation, because over the last week and a half and 2 weeks, a lot of topics have come up in terms of those two things in particular. Not only internally, in terms of my thoughts, but some problems that have been exposed in terms of curation and some problems that have been exposed with reviews. And in particular, what came up here, what surprised me was actually my hatred review. Now, I want to go on record saying that I am trying to make a career out of this. I am trying to make a career out of covering games, giving games that deserve a chance and deserve the consumers taking a look at them and saying, hey, this is a good game, I'm going to buy it. But being a consumer protector as well, saying, hey, look, this game is bad. This game is not worth your time and effort. Or this game is worth it at a cut price. I want to highlight good games and, highlight bad games as well to say avoid them. And I think I've done a reasonable job in that. Now, I've had discussions with developers on Twitter, and they seem to think that the only thing that seems to affect their sales is that positive reviews on Steam won't sell games. That the trends show that positive reviews actually don't, an overwhelming number of positive reviews or just positive reviews in general don't have an impact. An overwhelming negative amount of reviews will. And the sort of ideas of review degrading, taking into political and social portions into the mix. And part of me, it's hard for me to sit here and say that can't be true. Now, I see people who have commented on reviews saying I made a purchase decision based off this, and that's always great in my mind, especially when it's a great game where somebody's bought the game and hopefully they got the experience that I described to them in terms of what I took out of the game. Now, the thing is that that's hard to statistically quantify. The idea of the person who bought the game indicating what made them purchase it. In terms of positive reviews, I will agree that one positive review never usually does the job in terms of selling me on a game if I'm questioning it. Now, this is my career now, so I have no qualms of spending money to make a video, to make content out of it. A lot of people talk about, oh, well, you get free keys, you reach out to developers. The free portion actually isn't anything near what I have a problem with, or need in terms of, reviewing a game. The thing is that, again, I set a significant amount of money on the side to try to get this up and running. And the thing is, it's not about that, it's more about the time. Getting a pre-release copy in terms of being able to give a game a reasonable time frame to look at and get it the idea of what it does well and what it doesn't do well, and then being able to release that on the time of the review is more important to me. Getting it accurate is the most important thing in terms of getting that information out there and in a timely manner too. The fact of the matter is, in this business, timely reviews and having them up and running on the Steam review site is important. There's a reason why my hatred review got 1,000 views, and that's the first time a video had gotten 1,000 reviews in a day, actually, based on their real-time and analytical tools. So that's important. But it's also important on accuracy, and I made sure that review was accurate to the point of I completed it. I made sure that I looked at every element of it. Did I get every element of it right? No. I said that performance wasn't a problem, and for me it wasn't. I didn't play in windowed mode, which apparently there is a major problem there, and of course I missed that element. But what's interesting over the last couple of weeks, that seeing people dismiss reviews in terms of positive reviews, I think the thing is that positive reviews in essence give customer confidence that someone is taking a look at it and said, yeah, I'm okay with that. Now, negative reviews in my mind can be sort of more of a spark. In terms of positive reviews, I see it more as a sort of a long burning fire, where if you get multiple positive reviews and they all have similar expectations in terms of, okay, this game is good. Sometimes it's that they go different ways in terms of the positive reviews, but if you see multiple positive reviews in terms of, you know, a person enjoying the game, I think that gives the consumer a lot more confidence, but it never is necessarily the catalyst in terms of the purchase. It's a combination of things at that point. For negative reviews, I think it's a little bit different. I think one bad negative review can sort of shut down a purchase of a game, just because a bad experience, and in particular a bad experience where it touches to a person's specific, you know, fears about a game, whether it be like a performance issue, whether it be a specific gameplay issue, I think that can be a sort of go away sign for those people. And that's what I've seen, where what one bad review can really, and not bad in terms of like the review is done poorly, but bad in terms of the person did not enjoy the experience, can really shut people off to the game and have them look for another one, especially with indie titles. So I don't necessarily agree with the idea that only negative reviews are the useful ones. That positive reviews, I think, can make a huge difference. Now, what bothers me and what really caused me to talk about this, and I'm going to be completely open with you guys, I'm a little bit concerned about talking about this because of what effect it could have on my sort of YouTube type career. There is a Steam Curators Group known as the Original Creators Group, or I think it's OTC or OCG. I'll put the link in the description to the subreddit portion below. Recently, some developers have come out and indicated that there is a certain group that is sort of doing some real shady things. Now, of course, in almost every aspect of life, you have shady people. You have people who are trying to game the system. And morals and the morals that I was raised with, of course, I don't consider that an option. I'd rather fail and be honest and be truthful with people than to succeed but be underhanded. And that to me is not a reasonable option in terms of screwing people over, especially when these are people that I want to, you know, help out, that being the consumer. But the Original Traders Group and the Original Curators Group have done some things that I really have a problem with. The idea of if people don't respond to you in a timely manner or don't work with you, that you will turn positive reviews into negative reviews. That to me is just insane. That's politics and nothing more. And it bothers me that Steam, even though being given this information, has not even acted upon this right now to disable the account for the time being. There is a reasonable amount of evidence from developers as well as people who have been in the curation group saying, yeah, this stuff has gone on. I'm not proud of what I've done in the past, but I need to talk about this. Again, I'm going to put that subreddit in there below. Now, again, it comes down to a he said, she said kind of thing. The thing is that the reaction to it, there's obviously something there in my opinion, but what bothers me about this is more so the fact that, you know, when you're looking at a Steam review, in particular when I'm always looking at my Steam reviews, when I think I do a good job on a review and then I see, you know, only 40% of people, you know, approve of it, and, you know, it's like, okay, fine, people have different opinions, but unfortunately what has come out of this portion is the idea of, you know, downgrading a review because, you know, somebody doesn't agree with you, or somebody did something that, you know, somebody else doesn't agree with. That you know, we need to help these people out, so we're gonna upvote all the positive reviews and downvote all the negative reviews, and that really bothers me. Again, the content of the review should really make a difference, and it shouldn't be a sort of I don't want to say a mafia type situation, but really it is, with some of the stuff that has gone on in that group apparently, and that just, you know, again, I talk about morals and I talk about, you know, doing the right thing for the consumer and things like that. And I know not everybody's in it for that, but it's just, I don't understand why people take a look at other people's work and are willing to work off of that so much in terms of making their own set of money and their own, you know, portion off of it in terms of their own benefit and think that's okay. I just,
well struck.
I know I've been raised a little bit differently in that sense where, you know, I think that's the right moral thing to do. And of course, we're all raised with different morals at times. It bothers me that Steam and Valve have been so blasé on this, though. I mean, this issue has come up over the past as well on certain groups, on certain communities, on certain, you know, scams and traders and things like that. And their reaction to it in most cases is very, very slow. People getting scammed out of their Steam accounts, people getting, you know, sort of tricked into, you know, end up getting their, you know, accounts hacked. And Steam has been notorious for a bad customer support situation out there. You know, not responding to you in over 2 weeks or 3 weeks or 4 weeks. Meanwhile, people can't play their games. And it bothers me that a company that has so much of the PC market right now is so slow on that. Now they've admitted that there is a support problem, and the thing is that that's great that they've admitted it, and they've obviously taken some actions in terms of some of the problems with Steam. The recent Steam refunds, for example, is a good step into giving the consumer a little bit of power to say, hey, look, this game was falsely advertised. It's not what it says it is. You know what? I'm going to refund this game. Can that be abused? Yeah, but they do have stuff in there to stop that abuse. They have taken steps into like some of those free accounts that keep on wanting to trade with you and trying to get you to click on a link that will hack you. I just wish Steam understood its consumer base more, because, you know, for all the controversy that the Valve paid mod thing has got, which I did a video on and all that jazz, it actually sort of concerned me that was the tipping point. Because up to that point, there was a shitload of reasons that consumers should have been pissed at Valve. Sure, they offer sales. They offer some of the best prices on the market at times, and that's great and wonderful. They make quality products in terms of like TF2 and Dota and everything like that. Great. But their lack of reaction when things go down in their community at times is sort of unexpected. In like the Greenlight situation, you know, we've been talking, the gaming community has been talking about how Greenlight has been abused up and down, left and right, and how bad of a system it is. And even Valve has said, you know, they're going to retire Greenlight at some point because it's not doing what they need to do. Okay, great. What's the time frame? What's the when at that point? Because you have developers who are trying to get on Greenlight because they are trying to make the game, but then you also have things like the Slaughtering Grounds make it, the Unity pack games that people are just reselling Unity packs over and over again. For the leading platform on the PC in terms of a game distribution system, there is a tremendous lack of support from Valve on their own system, and that's really concerning for the future for me, because that's great that they've made some products in the past, but you know, your consumer base is your lifeblood, and like you guys, like for me, you guys are my lifeblood in terms of viewing the videos and making purchases on games. That doesn't affect me in terms of the purchases portion, but well, it affects me in terms of giving people good games and good experiences. And if you guys find a video that you guys find a game that you enjoyed enough of the video to make a purchase, and then play the game and be like, yeah, this is exactly what I wanted, that helps me out. To me, it helps me to be as accurate as possible and to be out there as much as possible to say, yeah, I want to buy this game. I want you to buy this game because it's this good. Or I don't want you to buy this game because it is so bad. I don't understand where this all sort of, you know, fell apart, where groups are able to screw around with the system so much to get people to make false purchases, and yet Valve sort of be like, you know, in the background, not really caring. I really would like people to take a look at that Reddit thread, because that to me was one of those situations where I sit there and I look at it, and I'm trying to do some news digging on it. I'm not doing it on behalf of Tech Raptor yet, but it bothers me, and it really gets to the point of, you know, everything I look at now I question, and that's disturbing more in itself. Of course, we should always be quizzical when looking at, you know, people's reviews and wonder what their motive is, but you always want to do that with a positive attitude. Like, okay, they may have other intentions, but until I have reason to believe it, I'm going to assume good things. Lately, it's been the other way around for me, and I really don't like that. I really don't like the fact that I'm so skeptical now when I see content like this, where I'm looking at a review, I'm like, is there another reason for this? Did they get a developer key and not disclose it? Do they know the developer in question? And I really hate that I have gotten to that point where I'm so cynical, where I'm just sitting there going, I don't know what their intention is. But unfortunately, that's what the system has gotten into, and that's going to cause problems over the long run. Don't get me wrong. When your consumer confidence in the gaming industry is low as it is right now, the thing is that people have been felt like they've been taken advantage of in so many ways over the last 2 or 3 years in particular. Games that are coming out in broken states, the problems with early access and Kickstarter, the situation where before with refunds and trying to get, you know, a broken product returned, not having any, you know, option in doing that other than charging back on the credit card, which has its own complications. I do wonder how this will continue and how the gaming communities will survive at this point if that continues. Now, gaming is resilient, don't get me wrong. It's not going to crash overnight or anything like that, but, you know, I thought that gaming would never go away. But it's not that it will ever go away. It's the fact that will gaming become so much business-like and so sort of convoluted and cursed that it becomes something that I don't want to take a look at anymore. That's possible. And if that's the case, then oh boy, you know, I mean, this is something I truly, truly love. If it ever gets to that point, I don't know what I would do at that point. All right, I've talked for long enough. I know this is a little bit of a rant from me, but I sort of need to get my thoughts out there for you guys and sort of get that off my chest. I didn't have a video to take a look at today. I am working on several videos. I'm still struggling with Serpents in the Staglands. I'm really trying to get my head around that game. It's one of those games where it obviously is my kryptonite in some ways, and while I'm trying to do my best to give the game a fair shake, it's one of those things where it just, like, you know, it's not clicking with me, but it's not easy to understand why it's not clicking with me. It's not the fact that necessarily it's a bad game. It may be just the genre and the mechanics are not matching up with me, yet the mechanics may be sound. So expect that. I don't know if I can say you expect that over the weekend, but honestly, I am doing my best to take a look at it. All right, this is Dragnix signing out. I hope you guys have a wonderful day and keep on gaming. Hey everybody, thanks for watching. If you like this content and want to see more of it, you may want to hit that subscribe button on the left-hand side. If you like this video and want to see more of this content, take a look at this video on the left-hand side as well. And if you missed my last video, take a look at the right-hand side. Once again, thanks for watching, and keep on gaming.